You've noticed it, haven't you? The endless cycle of people seeking attention, talking over one another, and living for the approval of others. For the Sigma male, these behaviors aren't just annoying, they are a fundamental puzzle. He observes the world and sees so much that simply makes zero sense. He is not the loud alpha demanding the spotlight, nor is he the follower who blends into the crowd. Instead, the Sigma male operates on his own terms, in the quiet spaces, driven by a code of independence, strategic thinking, and emotional control that most people will never understand. This video is for the man who sees the world differently, who values silence over noise, and who knows that true strength comes from within. Stay until the end, because we're going to break down the strange social rules and expectations that have no place in a Sigma's world, revealing how his unique perspective is not a bug, it's a feature. Number 1. He rejects the need for constant validation. For a Sigma male, external approval, whether it's social media likes, a compliment from a stranger, or public recognition, holds very little value. The confidence he has is earned and comes from within, forged by his own competence and self-assurance. This is a stark contrast to most people who often define their self-worth by how others perceive them. They might post every achievement and seek affirmation for every decision, almost like they're trying to prove their existence to the world. This rejection of external validation is a powerful tool because it makes him completely immune to manipulation. You can't control a man with flattery or criticism if he doesn't need your opinion in the first place. He is free to act purely on his own terms, making decisions based on logic and personal goals rather than the need to please a crowd. Others find this behavior baffling and sometimes even intimidating. They're used to a social game where everyone is trying to impress someone else, and when they can't influence him with praise or social pressure, it disrupts the entire dynamic. It can make them feel like their social currency is worthless. In the real world, this looks like a man who works a demanding job with quiet excellence, never boasting about his accomplishments, and is completely unfazed when his efforts are overlooked. He knows his worth is defined by his results, not by a pat on the back. But this is just the beginning of how a Sigma's mind operates. What makes even less sense to him is the idea of number 2, the way he sees following the crowd. The average person finds comfort in conformity. He wants to belong, to fit in with the group, and will often compromise his own beliefs and values just to do so. This is completely illogical to a Sigma male. He views society's norms and popular trends not as a guiding map, but as a restrictive straitjacket designed to limit individual thought and action. He doesn't mindlessly follow, he deliberately and consciously chooses his own path. This independent mindset is a source of immense power. By refusing to follow the herd, he can spot opportunities and dangers that the crowd misses. While others are moving in a single predictable direction, he's able to move laterally, to think differently, and to position himself strategically. This behavior can be confusing to the collective. When an individual refuses to conform, it can cause an unconscious discomfort because it challenges the very idea of group cohesion. He becomes an outlier, and people may try to either pull him back in or exclude him entirely. He starts his own business instead of climbing the corporate ladder. Number 3. His avoidance of shallow talk. The world seems to run on a constant stream of small talk, meaningless conversations about the weather, sports, or the latest TV show. For a Sigma male, this kind of chatter is unbearably shallow and mentally draining. He sees it as empty noise that fills space without providing any real substance. He craves depth, purpose, and genuine connection. He'd rather sit in comfortable silence than engage in a conversation that goes nowhere. This preference for substance over fluff is what makes his interaction so impactful. When he does speak, it's because he has something to say, something that matters. This disrupts social expectations because people are often thrown off by his quiet demeanor or his directness. They might misinterpret his silence as being cold or disengaged, but in reality, he's just unwilling to waste time on trivialities. This can make others feel like their conversational attempts are being dismissed, and it forces them to either match his depth or move on. It's a powerful filter for his social circle. He would rather have one meaningful conversation than 10 useless ones. Number 4. The way he deals with the concept of status symbols. Most men are conditioned to chase money, power, and titles as proof of their success and worth. They buy expensive cars or houses and post about them to gain prestige. This entire social game holds zero appeal to the Sigma male. He is content with what he has and measures success by his freedom and self-mastery, not by external displays of wealth or authority. He values his intellect and cunning more than any material possession. This detachment from status symbols is a powerful advantage because it makes him invisible to the social hierarchy. He doesn't need to compete for validation within a power structure he doesn't recognize. He can bypass all the expected moves and work in silence towards his goals. This confuses people because they can't figure out where he fits in. They don't know whether to respect him for his achievements or dismiss him because he doesn't play by the rules. It makes him an enigma. He invests his money in experiences, not expensive clothing.
Number 5. The groupthink trap. The average person is predisposed to fall into groupthink. It feels safe and comfortable to agree with everyone else, even if they have private doubts. It's an act of intellectual laziness, a surrender of individual responsibility for the sake of belonging. This is what a Sigma male finds completely nonsensical. He trusts his own instincts and will dissect an idea from every angle, even if it means standing completely alone against a consensus. This fierce independence is a powerful asset because it allows him to see truths that are hidden from the crowd. He can spot the flaws in a plan or an argument that everyone else is too afraid to challenge. This kind of behavior can be perceived as defiant, even threatening. When he refuses to surrender his opinion to the group, it breaks the social harmony, and it can cause others to feel insecure about their own decisions, forcing them to question their own thinking. He becomes a disruptive force for the status quo. He's the only one in the meeting who points out the fatal flaw in a plan. Number 6. The safe life. The concept of living a boring, risk-averse life is something a Sigma male finds completely baffling. Most people are terrified of leaving their comfort zone, of taking a chance on a new business idea, or traveling to a new country. They prefer the safety and security of the known, even if it means a life of quiet desperation. For a Sigma, this is a betrayal of one's potential. He is not afraid to take calculated risks to achieve his goals. This willingness to step outside the line is his true power. It's not about being reckless, but about purposeful action aligned with his self-determined path. He knows that the greatest rewards often lie on the other side of fear. This kind of purposeful risk-taking disrupts expectations because it demonstrates a level of confidence and self-trust that most people lack. Others may see his moves as careless, but he knows exactly what he's doing. He starts his own business instead of climbing the corporate ladder. Number 7. Idolizing fame and status.
The widespread fascination with celebrity culture and social media influencers makes absolutely no sense to a Sigma male. He sees it as a distraction, a waste of time and energy spent obsessing over someone else's life. The average person is often preoccupied with the latest viral trend or the achievements of a famous stranger, using their lives as a form of escapism. A Sigma male, on the other hand, is focused on building his own meaningful life. This detachment from celebrity culture is incredibly powerful because it directs all his energy inward. He doesn't waste time on empty admiration. He invests that time and focus into his own growth and achievements. This mindset can be confusing to others who live their lives through a screen. They may not understand why he isn't caught up in the latest drama, but in reality, he's just focused on the things that matter most. He knows his time is a precious resource. He spends his time on a new skill, not on celebrity news. And these are just a few of the things that make zero sense to a Sigma male. What about you? Let us know in the comments below if any of these points resonate with you. And this is the paradox of the Sigma male. While others are fighting for attention, he is building his power in the shadows. He knows that true strength isn't about how much noise you can make, but how much you can accomplish in silence. The world may not understand him, but it can't ignore him. Because when a man operates with this level of independence, quiet competence, and emotional control, his presence alone changes the game. Fear doesn't always come from aggression. Sometimes it's silence, clarity, and control. Never mistake his silence for weakness. Thank you so much for watching.